I've buried 7 doctors. Just let that sink in for a second. That's a quote inspired by a 103-year-old woman. It just, it cuts through all the noise, doesn't it? Makes you stop and think, wow, are we making all of this way too complicated? Yeah, that one single sentence pretty much challenges everything we're told about health. It suggests that maybe, just maybe, the answers aren't in the latest diet trend or some new supplement. They're in something much, much simpler. And that's exactly what we're going to dig into today: the harmony of health and how we can rediscover these simple secrets to a long life. So, let me just throw this out there. What if the key to living a long, healthy life isn't some closely guarded secret? What if it's actually been right there in front of us the entire time, just kind of buried under a mountain of fads and quick fixes? To help us explore this, we're going to look at a philosophy that's personified by a symbolic character we'll call Marijana Torio. Now, Marijana isn't a real person, but she represents the collective wisdom of countless centenarians, people who chose timeless principles over all those fleeting trends. This whole philosophy really rests on 3 simple pillars. First, simple and consistent nutrition. Second, finding mental peace and emotional balance. And third, having a positive and forgiving mindset. So let's start with the first one. What's on the plate? All right, this first pillar is all about food. But I'm telling you, it's a huge departure from modern diet culture. It's about fueling your body with rhythm, with consistency, often using just a few core ingredients every single day. First up, whole eggs fried in real butter. You know, for decades, we were all told that the cholesterol and egg yolks was the enemy, right? But this wisdom says, no way. The yolk is where the life is. I mean, think about it. It has almost everything a baby chick needs to grow. It's basically a perfect food, just the way nature made it. Next up, a pound of ground beef. Forget all the fads that demonize red meat. This is about the fundamental building blocks your body needs. We're talking iron, B12, zinc, all the stuff your body is literally made of. It's the raw material for your muscles, your blood, and even your brain. The third ingredient? Red potatoes with the skin on. In an age where everybody seems to be afraid of carbs, this philosophy sees them for exactly what they are: pure, simple energy straight from the earth. It's the kind of grounding fuel that has sustained people for centuries. And finally, we have raw, unpasteurized milk. Now look, this one's definitely controversial, but the idea behind it is pretty profound. The belief is that modern pasteurization kills all the living enzymes and probiotics, basically turning a living food into something sterile and, well, dead. But here's the most important part. It's not really about these 4 specific foods. It's about the principle behind them. The idea that your body doesn't want constant novelty and confusion. It thrives on rhythm, on predictability. It wants nutrients it can count on, day after day after day. And when you put these 2 approaches side by side, the contrast is just stark. On one side, you have rhythm, consistency, and stability. And on the other, you have the total chaos of modern diets, constant trends, processed junk, and this overwhelming number of choices that just creates stress instead of health. Okay, but remember, that was only the first pillar. That's just the food. This brings us to the second part of the equation, which might be even more important: the incredible, undeniable power of your mind. Because as folks like Mabel would tell you, the food is only half the battle. You could eat the most perfect diet on the planet, but if your spirit is filled with anger and resentment, well, your body is listening to that too. And she had a powerful story to prove it. She talked about this neighbor, Walter. He did everything right, ate clean, exercised, but he died of cancer at 68. And why? Because for 40 years, he was just consumed by this bitter hatred for his brother. Her conclusion was chilling. She said, the cancer didn't kill Walter. The hate did. The disease was just the physical outcome. And, you know, this isn't just some old folktale. The science is really starting to show us how chronic negative emotions create a real physical burden on the body. Long-term anger puts a massive strain on your organs. Constant stress just dismantles your immune system. And holding on to resentment literally creates a state of physical tension that never lets your body rest and heal. This all leads to this really crucial concept: mental hygiene. I mean, think about it. We all get physical hygiene, right? We brush our teeth, we wash our hands, we don't even have to think about it. Mental hygiene is just applying that same level of daily care to our thoughts and our emotions. So how do we actually do it? Well, first, have a reason to get out of bed in the morning, something bigger than just you.
Second, nurture real face-to-face human connections. Third, and this is a big one, practice forgiveness. Not for them, but for you, to let go of that burden. And finally, laugh. Find ways to laugh, especially when life gets hard. It's an incredible survival tool.
All right, so now let's put it all together. This is where the dots connect. This is where that simple diet meets a peaceful mind, and we create that true harmony of health. Because this really gets to the heart of it all. There's no single magic bullet. Longevity isn't about one perfect food or one special meditation app. It's about synergy. It's about how all these simple, powerful practices work together. When you look at the full recipe, it just makes perfect sense, doesn't it? The simple, natural food gives your body a strong foundation. But it's the emotional balance, the forgiveness, the low stress, and the gratitude that let that foundation truly flourish. You can't have one without the other. And really, this whole philosophy boils down to this one simple, powerful idea. True health isn't some complicated formula you have to figure out. It comes from living in harmony with nature, with your body, and with your own thoughts. So, as we wrap up, I just want to leave you with this question to think about. In a world that is so full of noise and complexity, what are the few simple truths that guide your health? What are your 4 foods?